Welcome, everyone, to another episode of My Two Cents. I'm Bob Wire. Thank you for dropping in with me. Today's December 24th, Christmas Eve to all you folks. Thank you for taking the time out of your life and spending a little bit of it with me. I'm deeply, and humbly appreciative for that. Like, subscribe, share, so we keep the algorithm going. Today's episode that I want to talk about is going to be a reaction video. It's going to be actually a reaction video to the gentleman that I had here prior, Patrick. And Mr. Patrick, I don't want to say his last name. He didn't, really give me the right to say his last name, and I don't want to just put him out there like that. But I want to go over some of the hot takes that took place in our show that we did. Now, just to give a little bit of context, he came and he did 3 episodes with me. First one, everything went fine. Part 2, unfortunately, I recorded all video, but there was no audio. And obviously, episode 3 that we did, I just released that a couple of days ago. That went through fine. So everything worked out perfect with that. So I'm very grateful that worked out. Now, just to let you know, Mr. Patrick, great guy, colorful character, love speaking with him. He's a great interview. Hopefully I'll have him back as well. I think he was a little questionable on what happened to the second video initially. And he might have thought that I intentionally deleted it and got rid of it. And I did, in the beginning of the show, said that, it's my fault. I want to take some accountability and said, I made a mistake and I had deleted it. And, I think he was a little questionable about that. So actually, after the show, the following day, I found the video and I sent it to him. So I know the man that he is and the amount of integrity he has. I'm sure when he comes back on the show, he will apologize full-throatedly and say, I'm very sorry, Bob, for questioning your level of integrity and your level of honesty. But let's get with it. We're gonna start it up, and these are some of the hot takes, at least in my opinion, of our interview. Enjoy, guys. Okay, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bob Wire Podcast. This is another episode of Welcome My My Two Cents. Sorry to get back on track. I have today with me again my main man Patrick in the house. Take some time out, give him an applause.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We did a podcast earlier, episode 1 actually. We did that quite a few weeks ago, right?
Episode 1 and 2, but tell them what happened to part 2.
So we're going to get around to letting, because I know everybody probably was waited with bated breath for episode 2 and wondered what exactly took place. So episode 1 came out. Very good episode. If I may say myself, Patrick was quite the guest, I would say. And we went on to shot episode 2 due to an error of myself. Excuse me, guys, because I'm just getting more comfortable in the podcast space, and I made a mistake. So all I had was video, and I had no audio, and it was very unfortunate because you guys all missed the dragging that I just gave my good guest Patrick. You see the dragging, and I did some dragging. Also, guys, I want you to, if you get the opportunity, please like, subscribe. Let's keep ourselves going out in the algorithm. But to bring you guys a little bit more up to speed, the last time we were speaking, we were talking about when Mr. Patrick was a young, subsual 16-year-old male.
But you see, there you go. Why is it back to me?
Oh well,
Let's go on to another subject.
Well, I'm just catching him up. I'm catching him up. Okay, I stopped that there real quick. So what I wanted to point out, I don't know, Patrick, distinguished gentleman, especially of a certain age. I think he was kind of losing sight of what might have been necessarily going on. You're a guest on the podcast show, so we're here to I'm here to interview you. So when he's like, why are we going back into me? Well, where else would I go? Pause. Where else would I go? The whole basis of this conversation is about interviewing you and your life perspectives. So, I wanted to make sure that, I was trying to, I didn't understand initially what he was meaning. I'm like, what other reason would you be here on the podcast for if we're not going to be conversating about your life and your story and your opinions on life in general? But I'll proceed. Chin him up.
You know what it is, just like the last time.
I like to keep them in the dark.
Yeah, it was all organic. And that's why we can't do a part 2, because that was so organic. I was brought to tears.
That's right, riddled in emotions.
I got so emotional. I cannot bring that emotion. I'm not an actor.
No.
You can't say cut, go.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
cut,
right.
action.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't, not for me.
No.
Not for me. I'm genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so whatever you see, what you get,
Mm-hmm.
keeping it real. So
Keeping it a buck, as the kids would say. You're keeping it a buck.
yeah, legit. Too legit to quit.
There you go. Independence Day is August 6, 1962.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
You obtained your independence as well. That's quite interesting. In the second episode that just for everyone to know what he was saying there, that date, that was the date of independence in his naturalized country that he was born in, Guyana. So we were talking about that. And also prior to that, he was saying that he felt that there was a lost mojo, that he couldn't revisit what we did in the second episode, that the audio wasn't there for. But I was trying to let him know, there's nothing that you can't, speak about again. You know what I'm saying? It's not that deep, so to speak. But he did get a little bit emotional, but in a good way. When he spoke about the tears, it was tears of laughter. We had a very good moment on that show, and we got into some conversations that's very similar to what we got into on this episode. And you're gonna see that as it goes on. All right. And also, by the way, just to let you guys know, I didn't plan anything in particular on what I was going to say to him or anything. I had just a few bullet points where I was going to guide and just ask a few questions. But as far as being prepared to debate him on any one particular issue, no, of course not. This was a very organic conversation that we were having. Even when he thought that I was prepared and was ambushing him, I just want to let you guys know that is not what took place. Not at all. I was just having just your basic organic conversation. Nothing planned, The conversation was going to go wherever it was going to go. I was going to allow it to just lead itself there. Well, let's continue. Unfortunately, had no audio. We were getting into the area of your faith. And I want to make sure I double back on that. Because that's where the meat is.
There we go again.
That's where that meat is.
So you discuss your faith. You let your audience know what do you believe and why you believe that and how you believe that. I discussed all of that, but because of technical difficulties.
You see the tap dance?
No. You're tap dancing.
Watch the tap dance.
I've already done this, and I told you before. It was so emotional that tears came to my eyes.
Well, maybe if I go like this with my hands, I could squeeze out the tears again.
No. It was too.
By the power of Grayskull.
It was too genuine. I'm not. What do you say? I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to just feel.
I'm feeling.
Okay.
Feeling, but here comes the ambush.
No, there's no ambush. Believe me. Listen, I tell you this. This is just a conversation piece. You see, he even said it there. He was under some assumption that there was some sort of ambush waiting for him on the other end. But me and Patrick, we have plenty of conversations. Like he's a friend, outside of this, and we would have conversations that we're just talking, obviously not on camera, and we would engage with all parts and facets of life, whether it's political issues, social issues, or issues of faith and religion and so forth. So it's nothing new, and it's not particularly any kind of conversation that we have not sort of had off screen. So let's continue.
That's all it is. You're in a safe space.
I know
right?
that. I know that.
You're not going to be attacked, right? You're not going to. So you won't be attacked or assaulted here.
So I'm independent. Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Some of the things that is in other religion, I adhere.
But let me drive the boat. Let me drive the bus rather.
Ride the bus.
Okay. Let me get the bus on the road.
Don't let the bus
Okay.
run over me.
And I want to make sure that I pick you up at the bus stop. Okay.
No
So
problem.
I'm getting in the bus and I'm starting it up. Right.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. First things first. Do you remember your first moment of where you understood what you were as far as being a Christian? Do you know like what age, like where you understood that this is the faith that I'm in, this is what I do? At what age would you say?
From age 0.
From age 0, that's impossible, sir. I'm talking about in the age of where you had awareness.
I wasn't made aware of anything because it was kind of like Islam. You're born into it. You're born into it. And from age 0, this is what you are. This is who you are, and this is who
I'm gonna give it another crack. I'm gonna give it another crack to maybe help you better understand what I'm asking.
Right now,
But hear me out. So that you kind of get a better understanding of what I'm exactly asking.
yes.
Right? I could remember probably somewhere around when I was maybe 10 or 11. I was being baptized at the Greater Fowl Baptist Church in the Bronx, along with my sister and my 2 cousins. And I think at that moment I was understanding the faith system in which I was installed into, right? So I'm asking along those lines, like, when were you aware yourself? You know what I'm saying? Where you, obviously at age 0, you didn't exist, so you wouldn't know what you were. I'm talking about when you came into like awareness, like as a young child or whatever, where you understood this was the faith that you were in.
It was never a question.
No, I'm not asking you, was it a question when you were made aware of it, like you understood what it was?
It was never a question.
Why do you?
Something that is like eating food.
Okay,
This is what I ate.
so you don't know what age?
No.
Okay, that's the bed law.
Okay. And if she comes to me,
Yeah.
well then I'm going to deal with you.
There you go.
So my objective was to make sure she didn't go see him.
There you go.
Because he was a no-nonsense guy. Like when you say you're getting a beat.
Just for you guys to know, what he was talking about right there was his mother, and he was saying, his mother was the true matriarch and leader of the family. His father was a little bit more hands-off, but whenever he got involved, things happen. So the best thing was to make sure he didn't get involved. So just to give you a little context behind what he was saying there.
Right, I got a beating almost every day because I was just a little crazy. Still am, but I just got a beating every day because I would get away and go swimming. Okay, and when you go swimming, you're swimming in the trenches. There's no lifeguard. There's no. Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Anything can happen. And every year, at least 2 or 3 people drown. But I know I'm not going to drown because I'm the best swimmer out of my boys. Like about 5, 6 of us. Okay, and when I would buy Vaseline and make sure you're not too ashy and shine your face up or whatever, and then I would come home and she would know.
She would know.
She would know. But sometimes she just look at me with a certain look like.
You know how she knew? Because you came back greasier than you left.
But I did not know. So when you
They-
ask me these questions about religion and what you thought about this or think about that, I didn't even know.
See, this is almost like a therapy session for you.
Yes, because
See?
I will come back in the house and I'm all
That's why
shiny.
that's why you don't even know why you're a Christian.
Exactly.
You don't. You're a
I was brought up that way from age 0, as I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Somebody told you.
You see, we've had that conversation before where, you know, when we talked about with religion, Christianity, to be exact, you know, like I told him, you know, much like my life and much like most people who are a Christian or whatever faith system that you're in, you didn't come into this world and chose, you know, what particular faith you were going to be in. It was given to you more than likely, you know, just from your family, you know. So it's not like, you know, when they say, oh, you know, I didn't choose God, God chose me, you know, that's how come I was a Christian or whatever. I don't subscribe to that. No, you were a Christian more than likely because your parents were a Christian, and that's what they pretty much taught you. And he doesn't like to, I think, necessarily agree with that. But for the most part, I do believe that that's typically how everybody gets into whatever faith systems they're in. I'll continue.
Christianity never came up.
Yeah, because it was already instilled.
It's already instilled.
You had no choice.
There wasn't no choice.
Yeah.
It's like Islam. You have no choice.
No,
Okay?
you have a choice now. You're in America.
Yeah, but Islam you cannot leave.
You can
Or
leave
if not-
Islam.
yeah, you can, but then you'll be like denigrated, etc.
Same way with Christians. Sure you
no,
will. Sure.
No.
Absolutely.
Christianity is entirely different.
No.
You telling me who's the Christian here?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll stop it right there. You know, like most Christians, and I'm not beating up on him. Like I said, I enjoy my conversations with Patrick. I appreciate him. Very colorful gentleman, very fun to talk to. I'm just doing a little breakdown of my interview with him. So that's all this is. This is not an attack piece, and I hope he doesn't receive it as such. But what most, a lot of Christians do, is that they will go on the offense with Muslims and always talk about, well, the lifestyle and what goes on culturally with Muslims, and really have no basis of any real facts to back up what they're saying, and not realizing that our religion, and being in Christianity, mirrors their a Muslim's religion as well. There is nothing unique that's going on in the Christian belief that is so exceptional that it's not existing in someone else's faith system. And I know that a lot of times we don't want to believe that, but that is just the way it is. That's the truth. And that's why I was telling him, no. You can be ridiculed for leaving Christianity, just as well you could be ridiculed for leaving Islam. Just like leaving whatever faith system you may be in. There's typically ridicule that comes with it, and that's all I was trying to express there.
Me?
Oh, you're
I
a
can tell you.
Christian now.
I told you I was born Christian.
Oh,
Well, how do you think I told you I was baptized
I
at the age of 10?
agnostic.
I have an agnostic ideology now. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
But I'm telling you what I was. You asked what I was.
I never asked you what you was.
You said-
I asked you who's the Christian here.
Okay.
And you said that you are.
Okay,
No,
so-
I am. You're not.
So you know what the
So I have to stand correct because I did misunderstood him. I thought he was making a question like, was I a Christian? So I misheard him. So he was right. I was definitely wrong when he said, "Who's the Christian here?" I'm thinking like, who was a Christian here? No, he was saying who is the Christian here now, and he is correct. That would be him. That would be him.
better answer would be?
What?
We both were.
No, I'm not were. I still am.
Well, currently. Okay.
I still am.
So
I still am.
So
ain't no word.
So let me ask you
Ain't
this.
no word. Still am.
So can I ask-
Always was.
So-
Never questioned
so
it.
can I ask you this
because
question?
I can look around me, in my surroundings,
Uh-huh.
in my family, all my aunts. I ain't gonna go through that again. We
Yeah.
already done that.
Yeah.
That it was a good way of living. Now we have in Guyana. It's
Well, hold on.
back-
Let me pause you for a minute.
Okay,
Let me
pause.
pause you for a minute.
time out.
So here's the timeout.
Yes.
So here's a scenario. If I once was an electrician, right? Take another sip. Get a sip there. So I want to make sure you receive the message. Okay.
Communion.
Take your communion, brother. Take your communion. Now, if I was, let's say, an electrician, right? And I currently retired from being an electrician. And I stopped being an electrician to become a carpenter, right? Do I forget everything of what it took to be an electrician?
Of course not. In fact, it would enhance it in carpentry.
Okay,
So, you know, the
so with
latest
enhancement, there you go, right?
Enhance it.
Okay, so now let's relate that back to my former Christian ideology. So everything that I learned Christian-wise, and now that I move more towards an agnostic approach, does that mean I forgot everything about Christianity?
No, I'll put it.
You don't I?
The reason why he's using these words, because in the lost tapes, those were my words, okay? So the tapes are lost. So now, I think it's a spiritual posture here now. They're trying to.
So you see, once again, he goes back to the episode that we shot where the audio was lost. He's once again leaning on that to say, yeah, these were my words. No, they weren't. They were not, sir. My words always remain the same. Your words were your words. My words were my words. We'll continue.
Use my words.
To strangle him with.
To strangle me with. To
Yes.
come against me.
Yes.
But it's okay. You can say all you want. But the evidence is the fact. The truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
That God is alive and well. And you can say whether I believe and because I believe in God.
Can you call him here?
Can you call the agnostic here?
There is no such thing of an agnostic.
Okay.
There's no agnostic God. That we're skeptics. I explained that earlier.
You
sir.
are a skeptic. I believe.
Is there facts behind beliefs?
Let me get my Bible with me.
Well, you can't use the Bible to substantiate the Bible. By the way, that's
Excuse
not how
me,
that works.
I can't use the Bible to substantiate the Bible.
Yeah, you can't use the Bible.
I can use the Quran to substantiate the Bible.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, that's not a factual way of substantiating anything because
But in the Quran it says if
the Quran is fake.
Okay, I want to pause that there real quick. The reason why I told them that you can't use the Bible to substantiate the Bible is because, for instance, if I write a book on evolution, so to speak, right, and I'm saying that this is how everything started and this is how things evolved, this is how life sprung about and so forth. In order to know if what I'm saying is correct, there's like a thing, this peer review, right? And so you can't, in peer review is where other people will look for outside sources to either substantiate what I'm saying or disprove what I'm saying. I can't tell them, no. In order to find out if what I'm saying is a fact, you must read my literature to prove that what I'm saying is a fact. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? So that's why I was telling him that you can't use the Bible to prove the Bible in so many words. And I know I went on to say the Quran or the Bible was fake. I shouldn't say that. Those are terrible choice of words. Excuse me on that. No, I mean these are literature that are not fake. They're written and there's intent and meaning behind it. Rather, if I agree with some of it or none of it, it's not fake. So, pardon me on referencing it that way.
My friend, it's a book of nonsense.
Oh, well, them
Yeah, it's made up. It's made up stories, much like the Bible.
No, the Bible are facts.
They're made up
These
stories.
men didn't live. Christ didn't walk this earth.
Okay. Do we have any
Don't
evidence?
tell me the evidence.
See here,
is a fact.
see here we go. You see what he's doing, right?
Well, tell you what. Your
Here we
great
go.
grandfather. Did he walk this earth?
Sure he did.
You have any evidence of that?
No.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I do. No, I'm sorry, because I got to stay corrected.
Don't go back.
No.
Don't go back.
Why would
Don't
you
go
not
back.
want me to fact check myself?
How do you
Yes,
fact- okay,
because
how do you
there is evidence of him. There's his birth certificate. So yes, I do have.
Your great grandfather, you have his birth certificate. There wasn't no
Yeah.
such thing because he was a slave.
No. Oh, you talking about going back towards slavery times?
No, I said your great
Okay, so
grandfather.
there is still evidence.
I
written.
said your great. He didn't come in on Ellis Island, so there's no evidence.
No. But hear me out, sir.
Yes, I'm here.
Slave masters still documented their slaves.
Slave masters never did because
Sure they did.
Stole here and
No,
there
that's
and everywhere.
that's not true, my friend.
What I'm saying, and you guys can fact check me, and I'm telling you for sure, slave owners did keep ledgers of their slaves and documented them. I don't think he was aware of that. I definitely don't think he was aware of that. So that's why I was telling him that's how come when people want to, African Americans per se in this country, when they want to go back and find their roots and find out, who owned one of their family members, they're capable of going back and checking records and seeing what particular family owned their family member, because they kept records of these things.
Right? It's the real religion was the Jews, right? So then they came and they remixed their whole story and added a book to it and called it Christianity. That's how Christianity came about. Like, right? Honestly, right?
Whatever.
So,
and once again, I'm not trying to just minimize Christianity and summarizing it that way, but there's so much time that we have in an interview, and all I was basically saying was that Christianity has derived out of Judaism, and that's just a fact, right? So Judaism was here first, obviously, and then we added stories to it, speaking like Christians, end up adding the stories of the New Testament and so forth to the Jewish faith system and created their own, which is Christianity, and that's just a fact. So Judaism preceded Christianity, and Christianity derived out of Judaism. So I should, that's what I meant. And once again, sorry if I minimized it. That's not my intentions. And sometimes I said things tongue in cheek, just messing around. So hopefully, I didn't offend anyone, because that's not really my intent.
I'm not going on that rabbit hole.
But it's true.
You sound so.
But what does the Old Testament speaks about?
That's crazy. Okay, you're talking about the Torah, but we're not even gonna go there. The next time I come here, I'll be prepared.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my homework. Okay. Obviously, you knew what you wanted to talk about. So now you're coming at me with all these fake stuff that it's all in your mind.
Okay. So let me ask you this question.
What question, sir?
Here, this is obviously an interview, so it's just a matter of questions. Look how tense the Christian gets.
Let's see. So I was, of course, messing around with them. Just like playfully antagonizing him there. And when he was saying that I had all this planned and prepared to hit him with, no, nonsensical. We've had conversations like this many times, so this shouldn't be something that would Pearl Harbor him, so to speak. I don't know how he would be caught from behind with this, so to speak. I've said to him before when he was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for this or whatever. I'm like, well, if you read the scriptures and you're a good Christian that you claim, the good book talks about, study to show thyself approved, right? So that you would be always continuously ready, you know what I'm saying, to be a proper evangelizer of the gospel. That's your job. You are to evangelize, spread the word, teach the word. So to say that you have to go and study and come back, because you're not prepared, the Bible speaks about not being a prepared Christian. Just saying.
Under questioning. Let me ask you, how old do you think the planet is? I'm asking you. Just a wild guess.
How old do you think this is?
You see the sidestep that they do?
Because you're asking me crazy questions.
What? That's what's crazy about asking you how old do you think the planet is?
The planet is still evolving. It's still existing. You cannot go back and measure that time.
Sure you can.
How do you do that? You tell me how old the planet is.
I would say that the planet...
There's many different ways, obviously, that biologists, not necessarily biologists, scientists, would be able to find out the age of the earth. I'm not a scientist, obviously, but I know they do things with carbon dating and so forth, and they're able to get an approximation of to pretty much how old the planet is. And I didn't understand what he was trying to say there, where you can't tell the age of something because it's ever growing, ever changing, ever evolving. So if we would hold by that same metrics, then I can't say how old he is, because he's ever changing and he's ever growing, and so to speak. So then we would be not capable of saying how old we were, or date our age or anything like that. So that was a bit of a ridiculous point, if you ask me. And also we have like geologists too. They're also capable of telling us how old certain things are. So there's many different ways. Like I said, I'm not a scientist in that particular area, but obviously there's people out there that's what they do. So we have to trust the science.
And I'll fact check myself afterwards.
Tell me how old the planet is.
But can I just make this point? See, you won't let me speak.
How old the planet is.
I will, but
how old the planet is.
I'm going to say it.
How old the planet is.
You're not being fair because you won't let me speak.
How old the planet is.
You see, would you like me if I do that?
How old the planet is.
I'm going to answer you, I promise you.
Don't promise me. There you go again.
But I keep my promises.
How old? No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. But
the
here,
tapes were erased. The tapes were erased.
Which are you going to allow?
And the tapes had no.
You see, once again, he goes right back to the tapes, not accepting what I told him. So that's why, like I said before, now that he got the chance to see the tapes, off air, I'm sure he's going to come and he'll apologize, because he was absolutely 1,000,000% wrong. I had no reason to feed him bullshit. Why would I? And what he's doing here, this is sometimes what happens when you're in a debate with people, and they feel like they're being cornered. They'll start trying to throw things at you, asking you questions, not allowing you to answer the questions, because they keep screaming, answer the question, never allowing you to. So that's what he's doing here. And when people become performative in that way, that's typically because they're drowning in the argument. But let's continue.
No volume. It had no sound.
Okay, are you going to allow me to answer?
See, this will happen with the agnostic. Okay, they cannot answer, so they're going to try to sidestep.
I'm not sidestepping.
How old the planet is? Simple.
I know, and I'm going to answer that.
Go ahead.
And all I just wanted to say was, and after I answer it, I will fact check to see if I'm right.
Don't fact check.
No, but I do want to fact check after, because I'm guessing off my head.
Okay.
So that's why I just want to say I would like to fact check for the audience,
Don't
but
fact check now.
Not now. I'm going to do it right now. I think
you haven't answered the question yet.
I think it's about 6 billion.
You see, he's at the point where he's not even listening. He's not really looking for an answer. He's just pulling at straws at this point, obviously, because all I was trying to say to him is that I'm guessing this off the top of my head. I was giving an educated guess, and that after I do that, because I traffic in facts on this show, and facts is very important, especially when I got this mic in front of me. I want to always be on the side of facts. I don't want to breed false information to any potential listeners or current listeners. I like to delight myself in being factually sound. So that's why I was just telling him, after I give an approximation, let me check to see if I'm in a ballpark or if I'm correct or incorrect. That's all that was. And I said it was about 6 billion years old. I was wrong. The planet was about 4.5 billion years old.
And I'm going to fact check that. Okay? You see, I'm an honest broker. I tell you, I'm going to tell you. Let's see. And that's just off my head. How old is Earth?
Planet Earth.
The Earth is other. I'm off by 1.5 billion years. They estimate the Earth to be about 4.3 billion years old. I said 6. I'm sorry. I was within the ballpark. I would say. He's right.
You say it was 6 billion years old. I could have pulled a number out of my. you know what, okay,
Yeah.
and say I'm off by this amount.
Okay. Yeah, but
And it is.
Okay,
what
so-
it has to do with anything.
okay. So give me a chance. Give me a
Give
chance.
me a chance.
So,
I'm
but-
going to answer you.
Okay, so
I promise you.
he doesn't want. me to
I
answer.
doesn't want to know.
You see what he's doing?
No.
Anytime I do attempt to speak,
a question. Answer the question.
well, can I answer it?
You can answer the question.
Okay, so it's going to just require you to be quiet for a minute. Is that fair? Okay, thank you. So I came up with the question because there is a big contradiction on Christians in belief in how old.
What was happening there was he wanted to know why I asked the question about how old the earth was, because he thought it was a ridiculous question, and he didn't realize what I was deriving to is that we have creationalists that believe that the earth is about 2,000 years old, and then you have other Christians that align more with the science and believe that the planet is a lot older. And I just was trying to see where did he fall in that particular sector of Christian, you know, like where you are creationalists and believing that it just started at this period of time, or do you side more with the science? So that's where I was going with that question. But he was so hyped up, he wasn't even really listening at that point. He just kept screaming, answer the question, answer the question. Every time I tried to answer the question, he wouldn't allow me to, as you can see. Let's continue.
The planet is. Some are creationalists, which they're going to sit there and they're going to assume that the planet is maybe only 2,000 plus years old. And then you have the people that buy more into the science, and they're going to say that the planet is obviously a little under 5 billion years old. So I asked that question to see where did you fall along the lines. Fair question, right? You thought there was something insidious behind it. You see that?
It is insidious.
What's insidious? I
We're
asked
talking
you
about
an honest
human
question.
beings here on the planet.
So how
and
old did you?
Hold
So how
on.
old do you think the planet is? I'm asking you
We're
now.
talking about human beings here on this planet.
No, I said how old is the planet?
I don't care. We're
I-
talking about human beings that we can trace our history to, going back, as you said.
How long do you think mankind's been on the planet? That's a different question, by the way.
You
How
tell
long-
me. I have no.
Now, this is where he kooks and kind of really loses his mind. And once again, like I said, folks, I didn't prepare this or whatever. This is organic conversation. This is just unfolding, you know, in live time. So, you know, I wanted to find out because he never really was telling me how old he thought the planet was. So I really didn't know where he was landing as far as being a creationalist, or was he more of a Christian that sides with the science. So the other way of trying to figure out maybe where he lands on that particular, on either side, was by asking him, well, how long do he believe man's been on the earth? Because then that would be a good indication. Because, you know, if he once again rumbles off around 2,000 years old or whatever, then he indirectly answered the question that he's a creationalist. So that's why I was going there with him on that. Then he told me he don't know, so he asked me. So I was just taking a wild, educated guess, and I had got it pretty much on the nose, and he like lost his shit because he thought that I had that planned or something. This is really ridiculous. But let's continue.
Fighting.
I'm going to take a wild guess, and then I'll fact check it afterwards. I would say human beings probably existed maybe just a tad bit under 300,000 years ago. Just a tad bit under it, and I just want to fact check. Do you think I'm close to being right?
I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
Sure it matters. To some people that does matter.
To some people, it matters.
Right?
To me, it doesn't matter.
I understand it doesn't matter. Ooh. Ooh. This boy is mean. Human beings being around for 300,000 years.
This is something that you, as an agnostic, probably to satisfy yourself, have looked into. You just didn't do this because no one is that damn smart. Okay? Especially you. Okay?
You see the level of insult that's heralded from the Christian?
As an agnostic, and you're looking at this, I don't even see what's going on. Okay?
Does that make it fair?
Let him get my money.
Pull those spectacles out.
because that's
Pull those
exactly-
spectacles out.
This would be something that you would want to look into. Exactly.
Now, what it says?
Homo species.
Homo sapiens,
Homo sapiens has been on the earth for oh, come on, man.
300,000 years.
Yeah, emerged in Africa. Okay, what does have to do with our conversation? This is
So, guys, I'm sure you've seen how fair I have been, right? And fair in the sense of
the CL.
but so yeah, I'm just making a point that I allow the space for him to speak, right? No matter whether if it's factual or unfactual, and I will correct it as we go on, right? So, one, to go back with the lost tapes, right? I did say obviously that was my era, and I lost it. Not today. I lost it weeks ago, and I don't know when I might have deleted it.
But you remember Kamanga? Homo sapiens. And you don't remember 2 weeks ago?
One thing has nothing to do with the other, right?
2 weeks ago, you can't remember. You can remember that.
But one have
When
nothing
did
to do
you
with the
study
other.
it?
But
You were in high school,
probably around there.
and you
Yeah.
remember it until today. But
Well-
you don't remember what happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because
Continue.
that these things do happen, right?
Continue.
So, what nonetheless, we're covering a lot more in this particular show than we even did in episode 2. So you're getting this is a big episode. I might have to split it into 2s. That's how big it is. So,
And this part is going to be lost too.
right, but this is, remember the things that he's saying. Remember this, guys. So when it does come out on the airwaves, he's gonna have to eat cold crow when religion goes wrong. And I'm not speaking about Christianity, I'm just talking about religion as a whole. Doesn't matter what faith. Do you think that's where it goes really wrong?
That's when man take God's law into their own hands.
Well,
Okay, at this point, we were talking about. I was asking him questions about abortion. Did he agree? He wouldn't really say that he agree or not agree. He said that early man engaged in abortion. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there. Engaged in abortion. I told him, I said, okay, well, I'm not aware of it. You're telling me. So that I didn't know anything about that. And then we got into, well, do you, some religions state that, as far as if a human being kills another person, that that's obviously wrong. That's against their God or anything like that. And I think we got into the conversation where we were speaking about, he was saying, well, the only one that has the right to do that, to kill, other human beings, is God. And I think that's where we were leading into. So let's continue.
now you said that's when man takes God's law into his own hands, right? So in the Bible, it speaks about that's an abomination. And it speaks about that there will be eternal suffering for doing that, correct?
That's for God to do.
So it's okay for God to be destructive with other people, but not us.
That is God's law. He do what he want to do.
So, okay, then if that's the case, right, and I'm with you, I'm walking with you, and I see him, he's trying to keep it close to his chest, I see him. But here we go, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. But at least I'm an honest broker. I told you I'm gonna
You're
get you.
very dishonest.
I'm a
But
very
continue.
honest broker.
You're very dishonest, but continue.
Because I told you I'm going to get you. Okay. So you said that's for God to do, right? To be destructive and destroy human beings, right? That's his job. If that's the case, could you tell me why God sent the Israelites into war to destroy other human beings?
Why did he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah?
Well, because of a number of offenses to God.
Why did he cause the flood?
Because God was offended.
God is very jealous and he gets offended. And this is your punishment. That's
So-
what he does.
So let me ask you, would you date somebody that's very jealous and get very offended? Would you date anybody like that?
Everybody has some jealousy in them. Everybody has some homosexuality in them. You came from a woman. How you think you got here?
Okay.
Okay, I don't know exactly. I don't exactly know what he was talking about when he says everyone have a bit of homosexuality in them. I do not agree with that. I do believe people are born gay, homosexual, lesbian, bi. I believe you're born that way. I don't think anyone have any choice in the direction of their sexual orientation, as far as in what they choose to be with. I think that choice is made for you, and you just come into awareness as life goes on. I did nothing to be a heterosexual man. I didn't choose it for myself. It chose me. The same way I believe people in alternative lifestyle, that they didn't choose that lifestyle chose them. And that's why I stop being bigoted towards those people, because it's like it's no different than me being mad at you for being a person of color or a white person or anything that's beyond your own control. It's ridiculous to do such things like that. But I don't know where he was going with when he said everyone's got some homosexual in them. I couldn't get around to that because he was, I chopped a lot of this video, obviously, as you can see. And so sometimes it was kind of hard to get through the weeds because he was like all over the place with that one. But maybe we get him on for another episode. We could kind of find out exactly what he meant by that.
Okay, sir. No, I
How
don't.
you think you got? Don't skip the question.
You asked me a question.
Yes.
I'm going to answer.
Answer the question.
But can I answer it the way I would like to?
No. Answer the question
I have
the
to
way it
answer
was proposed.
Oh, okay. And
You want to go around and beat around the bush and come back and ask some stupid stuff about something else that has nothing to do with anything.
No.
I asked you, how did you get here?
and give me an opportunity to speak.
How did you get here?
Okay. So
How did you get here?
You see?
Simple.
You see how you won't allow me to even answer? the
Simple. How did you get here?
Okay.
Did you get here by a woman?
question? I got here not just by a woman. I got here by a man.
Right.
Both.
But who carried you for 9 months?
Let's try not to hit the table because we're gonna pick it up.
Who
Okay.
carried? There was no sound the last time. Who carried you for 9 months?
Oh, without the sperm?
We already established that fact. And
So-
you cannot produce a baby without the woman.
Sure. So here.
Not sure.
So here's my point. Can I make my point?
You cannot produce a baby
But
without
listen,
the woman.
I can I just make my point?
You always want to make a point. Answer the question.
You're
you
not-
never answer the question. You
You're
always
not-
want to make a
you're-
point.
you're not-
You always want to come around to some other skewed idea in your head. It's simple. Without the woman, there's no child.
You're not asking me a question.
I
and-
did
and
ask
you're-
you a
and
question. Without the woman, is there a child produced?
How many times do I have to keep
No,
saying?
it's not how many times. Answer.
As you can see, he was getting a little belligerent here. I mean, really, at this point, asking me questions when I'm trying to answer the question, won't allow me to answer the question. He want a one-word answer to the questions that he asked, and that's what happens when they're not really engaging in an honest conversation, because it's very few questions that requires just a one-word answer. Let's be honest. There's a lot of context behind responding to a particular question. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the question. Now, if the question is like, are you hungry? I mean, that's pretty easy. Yes, you are, or no, you're not. But if someone's asking you, well, what are some of your desires in life? I mean, it's a broader question. It's a broad question, so it's going to be a broader answer. And, so some of these things, what he's saying is not just a one-word answer. And he wasn't liking that.
Question, yes or no. Without the woman, is there a child produced?
This what he's doing is filibustering, right?
It's not filibustering.
This is what
you're
he's doing,
is
right?
not answering the question.
So for the audience to hear, this is where I stand. I believe that it's 50-50 in importance when it comes to the creation of a child. A man is 50% responsible and the woman is the other 50%. No one greater than the other. The woman cannot have a child without the man's semen. The man can't have a child without the woman's uterus. So I believe that they're equal. That's just where I'm standing at. So I think that that's a fair assessment. I don't know where you stand at on that.
Your assessment, I can understand that.
You would never
But-
let me get that out. You attacked me right from the gate. You wouldn't let me speak it. Why? Why do you attack so much?
You know what the question was from the inception. What I'm saying to you is this. The question started with homosexuality. That's where it
And then I'm going to speak. You said so. Every person has homosexuality in them, right?
I didn't say homosexuality. You have both genes, 50-50.
So you mean the X chromosome and the Y chromosome?
He's saying that he did not say homosexuality. He said it there twice, as you guys were able to hear. So I don't know where was he going with that one. It's a bit
Right.
funny,
It's out
but
of
let's
here.
continue.
But that's the agnostic for you, right? Isn't that amazing? I love it. This is a great episode. I love the energy. I love how colorful he got. And when he looks back on it, he's gonna come to me and says, "Bob, why you made me look so bad?" And I'm gonna say, "I didn't do this to you. You did this to yourself." Then he's gonna say, "I think that was AI, and I think you edited it." He's gonna say that too, probably, because they have the conspiratorial mind. The Christian.
That's you.
He's gonna
That's
say that.
you. That's you. You prepared for your podcast.
Yes.
I walk in here as a blank slate. You start asking me how long
Here comes the victim.
on the planet. How long this has been that? What about this and about that? Come on, man. You were prepared.
I was prepared.
Yes. They hit it 300,000 years exact, bro.
I swear to God I swear to your God.
No.
I swear.
Don't try to switch it up. Oh, I'm going to go like this.
What? I don't take back what I said. I promise you I did not look that up.
You promised it again.
Because I make promises that I keep.
Yes. Exactly. So you answer to yourself.
No, you don't.
So who you answer to?
There's no answering to anybody.
So who do you answer to?
In what sense? Maybe let me ask you the question in that way. What do you mean?
If you tell me an untruth,
Okay. All right.
who do you answer to for the untruth?
For the untruth? Well, I'll fact check it. That's going to be the decider. Science. How about that? Is that a better answer?
You're a Scientologist now.
No, Scientologist does not believe in science, my friend.
You move from an agnostic to a Scientologist.
That's not what a Scientologist is.
What is a Scientologist?
They believe in some leveling up and we were aliens and demons and nonsense that it has zero to do with science.
That's you.
That's not me. I deal with
Who
science.
do you answer to? The demons?
No, I don't believe in demons, so.
Who do you...
Okay. So I'm gonna pretty much close out the show there. There was a little bit more to it. If you want to watch the entire episode, it was about 2 hours and a half long. Like I said, yeah, there's some things that I wish I could have went back on correct in the sense of, hopefully I wasn't insulting anyone when it comes to their layer, to their level of faith or belief system. That is not my intentions. Me and Pat talk a lot, and I know, he tries to figure exactly where I'm at or whatever. And, and it's hard to just label myself one particular thing or whatever. It was a lot easier when I was just a staunch Christian, because that's all I would say. I was like, well, I'm a Christian. But I have deconstructed, obviously. And so the best way I could say to him and other people is that I'm agnostic, right? And people get agnostic mixed up a lot with atheists, right? Because the atheist, just for you guys that may not know, the atheist doesn't believe in any religion, any God. They don't believe in any existence of any of that. The agnostic is saying that they don't necessarily believe in any particular religion or faith system. And they don't believe necessarily in an existence of a God, and they also are open to the fact that there could be a God too, but they're currently skeptical about it, So we're in a space where we're saying there is no evidence to make me believe that one exists, but I'm not going to deny that it could be the possibility of one existing. And that's all an agnostic is. I've also went on and said to him that I probably lean a little bit more spiritual too, in a sense, like believing in our ancestors guiding us. I have no evidence or fact of anything to prove that these things are true. That's just what I want to believe, because at the end of the day, all religion is about what you want to believe. It's not based in any particular facts. And that's not to insult anyone's belief systems or anything like that. But we don't have any evidence. None of us been to the other side and came back and able to tell the greater mass what goes on the other side. Like I said to him many times before, do I wish that there is a place where justice is served for those who lived an unclean life, an evil life, so to speak, for a lack of words, that was harmful in this realm, in this existence. And hopefully there's a place where when they go, there'll be justice on the other end. I wish that exists. I hope that that's the truth, as well as for people who might have lived a good, clean life and tried to be as righteous as they can while existing on this planet. And when they go on and pass on, that they're living in greater pastures, heaven, so to speak. I wish those things were true. You know, I don't want to not believe that, but when it comes down to it, I'm agnostic, so I'm a skeptic by nature. That means that I don't know if these things exist, and I'm not going to claim that they do exist. I'm also not going to walk around and say that I believe religion is something that's been extremely helpful, especially when it comes to the black community, even though we like to believe that it is. I do not believe that it is at all. We got out of the circumstances that we got into. We're fighting for our civil rights because we got up and we fought for ourselves, instead of sitting there and saying that we're going to wait for God to come and take care of this and remove us out of bondage. We might have used the talking points of Jesus Christ and Christianity while fighting for our rights. But at the end of the day, when you look at it and the record shows, it was us that did it. We got ourselves out of the circumstances that we were in. And that's where I stand on all of this stuff. And I understand it may not be comfortable for many. And once again, I'm not here to rob anybody's belief systems. That's not my intentions. That's not what I care about. And if you want to choose to believe into whatever you want to believe, as long as it's not hurting or harming anybody legislatively, you know, physically, or anything of that manner, continue on. I'm fine with that. If you know, having a religious system is what gives you culture and where you could go and meet other people and you know, just build with other folks, then great, you know. But unfortunately, that's not where it always ends. You know what I'm saying? It usually ends where you have these Christian nationalists. You know, you have these Muslim extremists and many other religions, because I don't want to just put it all on the shoulders of Christians and Muslims. You know, it's all religions as a whole. So that's pretty much where I stand at on that. And once again, like I want to say, I had a very good time speaking with Pat. Very good interview. Would love to have him back again. Everybody, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Enjoy, and God bless.